Hello cats and kittens, Mama Cat Gamer here with another episode in Gavtia's adventure through Eorzea. We are in this post-Stormblood MSQ, the patch quest between Stormblood and Shadowbringers expansions. We're going to tackle another samurai job quest since I've gotten that up high enough. And, or we might tackle a couple of them. I'm going to turn in a quest for the Dragoon Relic quest to continue the book series. I don't know if there's any cutscene for that. I did accidentally turn in a cutscene for custom deliveries. That was it. I didn't get to record that cutscene, but it's kind of cute. You can catch it on another stream. I might be able to pick it up somewhere else. But you discover that Adkiragh's brothers are looking for him, and they found him. And he's supposedly a Han on the Azim Steppe, but he doesn't want to go back because they've tried to assassinate him too many times. So he's going to stay in the last chance there with the golden pig head on his head. So it is what it is. The Sands of Debt is our next one. That's level 52. Let's go turn in the Relic quest. I actually looked this up because it was driving me crazy trying to figure out how to pronounce the name of this sword, or this weapon, Dragoon weapon. And apparently it's close to Gae Bolg. Don't kill me, because, you know, I can't speak with a Scottish or Irish accent, so. I also learned that Scathach is pronounced Scathach. Scathach, which is really tough for me to pronounce because it's not, you know, an American English kind of thing to say. I am probably never going to remember that. And what I was calling Dunskaith is Dunskaith. I'm probably pronouncing Scath wrong too. So don't quote me on that, but we're getting closer to the proper pronunciation. I don't know why that's like really important to me to pronounce things correctly. It's probably a holdover from working in the medical field in my job, because if you pronounce a medical term incorrectly, it can turn into something very, very different from what it actually is. So we don't want to do that. Let's go to Mordona. I just have to like turn in one book and pick up another one, but I wasn't sure if there was a cutscene, so I hadn't turned it in yet. So, for this book, Book of Skyfall 1, we had to kill a bunch of enemies, do 3 dungeons, 3 different fates, and 3 different leave quests. So, that's, I think, what it's going to be for the entire time is all these things. It's not meant to be done quickly. Trials of the Brave. Now, I mentioned earlier that 9 books comprise a set, but there are different sets as well. I have a quick browse through them, and it appears that each focuses on a particular weapon. If you have any preferences, please let me know. Arm yourself with a relic weapon atma you wish to enhance. Speak. Oh, yeah, I gotta have the relic weapon on. Alright, we've picked up Books of Fall. So we got 1 of 1 done, or 1 of 3 done, so I wonder if I can get more. Didn't I just sell you a book? You must complete all the objectives in a book before you can purchase another. Okay. Alright. We now have Skyfall 2. And, I will work on those, and I'll keep working on completing those over time. Since there's not really a cutscene involved with those, I don't have to worry about that part. Once I complete all those books, we'll go from there. Alright, we will get our glowy weapon at some point. Make sure I got that assigned correctly. Oh, isn't that cute? It's a cute little portrait. Alright, let's go back to Samurai. Now we're going to go to Ul'dah, talk to Musasai. Ah, Gav, 'tis good to see you again, the stronger for your tireless training. Now then, within the sand-blasted walls of this city, we have identified an evil that wants for excising. an unscrupulous moneylender who preys upon the poor. Momozigo says, this I learned by plying a certain businessman with coin. Apparently, the crook in question has been doing his rounds at Stone's Throw. He charges exorbitant rates on the meagerest sums, and those unable to return it in full are forced into slavery. Well, that's not very nice. Musosai says, this is no man, but a leech that feeds off the less fortunate among us. Such evil cannot be suffered. Let us head to the shanty town, storms blow, and speak with the denizens. Okay. That is right outside the door, basically. This is a pretty piece of music. Pleasant Pauper. I was stupid enough to get a loan, and now I'm working it off till Thal knows when, and I'm one of the luckier ones. My heart goes out to the lass yonder who's about to be sold on account of the medicine she bought her sick father. Peaked Pauper. That moneylender bastard? He's a swindler is what he is. Pretends he's your best friend, acting like he cares. And when he can't cough up the coin, he shows his true colors. I don't want to spit on my mic, guys, so I'm not going to make the sound effect. Pragmatic Pauper. Sure, I can tell you about the moneylender. Was played for a fool myself, and I got only myself to blame. Fooled me once, shame on me. That's just how it works here. You have anything else? Okay. It seems I was too kind earlier. This man is no leech. He is the stain that night soil leaves behind. Let us seek out this downtrodden damsel, who sought only to do right by her father. I shall find Momozigo and join you presently. Alright. Downtrodden daughter. She does look downtrodden, doesn't she? Aye, you heard right. Da needed medicine badly, so we borrowed a handful of coins. But before we knew it, a handful became a chestful, and now I'm having to work to pay it back. But the interest grows faster than I can work, and the moneylender's threatening to sell me off to a client. If that happens, no one will be left to look after Da. I don't know what to do anymore. Momozigo says, her own happiness is on the line, and she still worries for her father. Oh, this moneylender has it coming to him. Mr. Philip, don't sell me, please. I'll work harder. I swear it. Just don't take me away. My Da, he needs looking after. Is that supposed to move me? If anything, you should be thankful I'm offering you a chance to earn money without any effort. You need only lie on your back. Now come quietly. Momozigo says, hold it right there, villain! If you try to take the girl away, you'll have to answer to these samurai here. Philip says, I know not who you are, but this is a legitimate business transaction and certainly none of your concern. However, if you insist on threatening my person, I'll not hesitate to summon the brass blades. Musosai says, pray, forgive us our indiscretion, my lord. As you say, it is none of our concern. Gav, put up your katana. Momozigo says, what are you doing, Musosai? Or should I say not doing? I thought the idea was to punish evil. Musosai says, Now was not the time to draw steel. Doing so would have only worsened the situation. We must be patient and await the right moment. Besides, I suspect that there is more to the operation than this Philip alone. If we give him a line, he will surely lead us to his accomplices. Come, let us follow him. Okay. This is why I check my recommended gear periodically when I'm leveling, because sometimes I've picked up some items in the course of doing like roulettes, because I do roulettes pretty much daily. That's a great source of gil, great source of XP. It's not the fastest way to gain gil, but doing the MSQ one in particular, which is like Praetorium, Castrum, or the Ultima weapon. The three big final fights, basically, and ARR. That gives you a lot of XP. Almost Ego says, just you wait, Philip. We'll get you yet. Good. Because I don't want this poor girl having to be abused in that way. You know what I mean? We're not going to say what it is. It's a good way to get your channel in trouble. Musasai says, it appears our man is meeting someone. Ah, speak of the devil. Even with the rags, 'tis plain she's a beauty, yes? I trust she will serve to stay in your good graces. You've outdone yourself this time. Yeah, she will serve very well. Very well indeed. You may continue to conduct your business freely. Momozigo says, she's being used to bribe a brass blade and a commanding officer at that. God damn that scoundrel. Musosai says, now we know why this villain was able to operate in plain sight, unmolested by the law. Gav, the time has come to draw steel. All right. Does he have anything else to say? Come, Gav. Okay. Don't hurt me, I surrender. Philip says, mammy. I don't want to click on the huge hornet there. Downtrodden daughter says, thank you so much. You did well, but remember, a katana is not to be drawn blindly. Within its sheath you must let it rest, steeping in power until the time is ripe to strike. Such is the way of the samurai. What have you done, Momozigo? Musasai, wait! He's my friend and he's here to help. Huh? He's not the enemy. Fufulupa says, no, not at all, good sir. Long story short, we've been trying to find decisive evidence leading the moneylender Philip to one of our officers, and thanks to your timely intervention, we've done just that. His involvement in this racket is a stain upon our honor. This is admittedly far from squeaky clean, but know that there are many honest brass blades still, good men and women who strive to serve the public trust. The daughter says, if you hadn't appeared, gods know where I might have ended up. I don't know how to thank you. Momozigo says, think nothing of it. The work is its own reward. Now, hurry back to your Da and put his mind at ease. Fufulupa says, "Pray allow me to thank you also. With your help, we succeeded in catching slippery crooks who have long eluded us. Rest assured, we shall see to the rest. By your leave." All right, we broke up a racket and saved a daughter. I feel better. Musa says this, "For a moment I thought you had given us up to the enemy. Next time I would thank you to share your plans." Have a little faith, would you? Thanks to my spontaneity, we managed to wrap this up in a neat little package. Fufulupa, he and I go back a long way. Fellows as honest as they come. I do not doubt it. Now that our work here is done, one fewer evil afflicts the realm. Let us move on to wherever the wind should blow. And the wind blows, 'twould seem, to the sea. Momozigo, pray, take the lead. He says, "Right, this way, friends. We're going to Limsa Laminza." Does that mean we want shrimp for dinner or something? Alright, back to the Drowning Wedge. Momozigo says, "I do love the sea. There's something cleansing about it, and I don't mean just taking a dunk. Such a vibrant port city, brimming with people of all races and creeds. Mayhap one day Hingashi, too, will learn to open its arms to the world. Now then, as before, Momozigo and I shall seek out evil and injustice in this place. Pray, use the time to further hone your skills in our art, that you might stand ready to contend with whatever villainy should manifest." Musasai is looking for you among the Drowning Wench crowd. You found us. Gav, your katana has come to sit well at your hip. 'Tis plain your experience in excising evil has matured you as a samurai. I have had an eventful time in this salt-kissed city. In the course of seeking evil, I came under the suspicion of the local peacekeepers, the Mellow Packets. Supposed to be Yellow Jackets. Mellow Packets. A serial killer has been terrorizing these parts, 'twould seem, whose weapon of choice is an uncommonly sharp blade, not unlike ours. And so I found myself confronted and questioned. Thanks to Momozigo's testimony, however, the pall of suspicion was quickly lifted. Not only that, but we were even permitted to examine the victim's wounds. There can be no doubt they were inflicted by a katana. The killer may well be samurai. Yet a true samurai does not take life without just cause. Murder is heinous in its own right. Committing it with our noble weapon compounds the crime. Such evil cannot be suffered. Momozigo says, "So there you have it. We're going after a serial killer. I must say I'm morbidly excited." Right, let's begin by talking to people in Hawker's Alley. Morbidly excited about a serial killer. Let's talk to Kyokyo Rune. Killer makes Kaikern, I think it's Kaikern, dead. Makes Kyokyo Rune afraid, afraidfully afraid. Kyokyo Rune shake, shaky wake all night. Brrr. The recent murders, gruesome business that, and it seems no one's safe, neither. Why, even a traveler got himself sliced up, the unlucky sod. What sort of sick bastard would do a thing like that? So guys, like trying not to yawn at the same time here. I had a sleep study last night, and you know, when you're in that kind of environment, like, it was a nice room, but you can't get any sleep in any kind of medical facility. I don't care what it is. I came home and slept some more, but you know, it's not the same. The serial killings? Ah, don't get me started. All of us here have been on edge. One of the victims was a regular of mine, Navigator rest his soul, and I pray that the culprit is caught soon. Okay, let's report to Musasai. Can't say I blame the Yellow Jackets for marking us out. I mean, every Ilma Musasai screams, "Look at me!" Yeah, you're not wrong. A patron, a traveler, and a quickern. That's probably how you're supposed to pronounce it, quickern. The victims do not seem to have anything in common. However, the circumstances of their deaths are strikingly similar. They all vanished in the vicinity of the docks before later turning up as corpses. The killer, it seems to me, targets those who happen to pass along the landing. It's completely random then? What a frightening thought. But now that we know this, what do we do next? We set a trap, lure the killer out by walking around the area in question in the black of night. When he emerges from the shadows, we apprehend him. Ah, solid plan. So, who's the lucky one who gets to be the bait? Let me guess. Oh no, I was thinking it was going to be Gav. We're looking at Momoziko. What? Wait, why me? Musasai says, so the victims have naught in common. It must be noted that none of them were armed. In other words, the killer preyed on the defenseless. With our katana at our hips, Gav and I shan't make enticing bait. Conversely, were we to forego our weapons, we would be ill-equipped to subdue the villains. So it falls to you. Momosiko's going, all right. Musasai says, take heart, my friend. Both of us shall be close on hand, ready to pounce ere you may come to harm. Now then, let us go to the docks. It is time. Let us set the trap. Tim! That blade. By the Kami, Momoziko, that scream was loud enough to wake the dead. Small wonder the villain fled with such haste. It wasn't intentional. What's done is done. Besides, our mission was not entirely without fruit. The killer's blade, it is known to me. Some while ago, a wealthy merchant of this land came to Kugane, a port of Ingashi. The man had a fetish for blades and proceeded to buy up the finest he could find. A chance to inspect the wares at one of the many swordsmiths this merchant visited, and noted, or I chanced to inspect the wares at one of the many swordsmiths this merchant visited, and noted a unique katana marked for delivery to his ship, the self-same katana the killer wields. Furthermore, according to the shopkeeper, the merchant was a Laughabell. Laughabell? Lalafell. A wealthy Lalafellan merchant, you say? Well, in this area, that's Jejiruju, whom I once entertained with a dance troupe. But for all his vices, he didn't strike me as a serial-killing sort. Be that as it may, this is our sole lead for now. Where do we find this man? At his resort in Costa del Sol, most like, but I'm doubtful he's the one we're after. Jejiruju's hardly a paragon of righteousness, but if he's guilty of anything, it's of being a lecher, not a murderer. Not sure if that's much better, but okay. No need to mince words. Let us pierce right to the heart of the matter. Who dares disturb my slumber? Oh, if it isn't the resourceful and supremely forgiving adventurer. I see you've brought company today, and of the Far Eastern persuasion besides. How very exotic. But come, what is it you wish of me? Truly now, yours truly a suspect in the serial killings? But of course it is a mistake, and no mistake about it. However, I do have an inkling as to who the culprit might be. Gurumi Borlumi, he is your man. He made his fortune in trade and indulges in extreme excesses, which, coming from me, is saying something. But most relevant to your investigation is the fact that he is obsessed with all things Far Eastern and owns an extensive collection of katana. Why, just the other day at a social gathering, he was bragging on about one such weapon as though it was his firstborn. When he said that he wanted to feel what it's like to cut a man down, we all had a good chuckle, assuming he was speaking in jest. The man did always strike me as touched, but to think that he would actually go and do the deed. Musosai says, to kill simply to satisfy his own twisted urges. This is no man, but a fiend in a man's skin. Master Jijiruju, we were wrong to suspect you and humbly beg your forgiveness. Will you tell us where to find this depraved creature? On his ship where he lives, it's at anchor nearby for now, but I should warn you that he recently mentioned wanting a change of scenery. Momozigo says, a ship? It's going to be... Oh, there he is. It's going to be tough to sneak around, but if we miss the chance, who knows when there'll be another? Ho ho ho! Thank your lucky stars, for it just so happens I've received an invitation from Gurumi Borlumi to attend a banquet aboard his, and I quote, vessel of myriad pleasures. We know what the myriad pleasures are. I'm trying to keep it friendly for family friendly. You may have it, a small token of my remorse to you, my dear adventurer. Show it to the man's retainer at the pier, and you'll be shown to a ship. And you, showmaster, I will lend you my garb, disguised as yours truly. None shall raise an eyebrow were you to have bodyguards in your company. And with that, I bid you success. Gurumi Borlumi is a troublesome business rival, and I shan't shed a tear at his demise. We are grateful. Without further ado then, let us assume our roles and head to the pier. Momozigo says, why do I have a terrible feeling about this? Because we all have terrible feelings about our impending doom. Speaking of sleep studies, if you think you got sleep apnea, get it treated. Okay? Don't put it off. I had a friend of mine at age 38 who almost died from a massive heart attack because he stopped breathing in his sleep from sleep apnea. So don't be him. He made it through and he's doing quite a bit better now. But don't be him. I'm sure he would tell you that himself if he were here. So I'm not telling any secrets on him. Musosai says, a breathtaking view. It reminds me of the Ruby Sea, of home. Momozigo says, ho ho ho, 'tis a fine day for a banquet aboard a ship. A fine day indeed. Well, was that convincing? Gurumi's retainer, Master Jijiruju and company, you do us great honor. The invitation, if I may. Banquet invitation to attend Gurumi's banquet aboard his vessel of myriad pleasures. All appears in order. Thank you kindly. If you would care to step aboard, we shall cast off presently. Alright, level sync is in effect. If you are above the maximum allowed level, it will be synced as followed. 56. ingratiating guest says, "Your dedication to your passion is beyond impressive, my lord. Would that we all had your fine taste." Okay. Ingratiating? Like just try sycophant. Come now, we've scarcely scratched the surface. Save some wonderment for my prized katana. Master Jejiruju, always a pleasure. I say, are those samurai I see beside you? A commendable first effort, my lord, but they pale in comparison to my katana collection. Musosai says, you would flaunt the blades you used to cut down innocents? Twisted fiend, your reign of terror ends here. You're not Jejiruju, are you? And yet I would swear we've met. Damn right we've met. I'm the would-be prey who screamed his lungs out. Ah, yes, from the other night. You see, 'tis well and good to admire a blade upon a stand, but its true place is in one's hand. This I discovered to my sheerest ecstasy. Musosai says, the law is too good for the likes of you. You shall face the selfsame end you visited upon innocence. Not only do you sneak uninvited into a private gathering, you make violent threats against an upstanding citizen. It seems I have no choice but to summon the guards. Now, let us step above and pray put on a good show. I have a reputation as a host to uphold. Ostergrain, Koi, time to work for your keep. That is no way to hold a katana. You are no true samurai. Like there's a difference. Samurai is just a swordsman that fights with a katana. And this champion gladiator is going to show you how it's done. You heard that, Gav? The difference is lost on this man. We must free him from his ignorance. By freeing him from his life? I don't know. That'll free his ignorance for sure, right? Hold it. I've a mind to savor it. We shall save you for last. Let us warm the deck with an opening act. Alright, now we got 4 ninja to fight. For now, we enjoy the spectacle. Musosai says, I too shall observe. You alone are more than enough for these false shinobi. Yes, yes, we are. Have at him. Kirasute. Or maybe it's Kirasute. It's kind of fun music. This is but part of your training. Finish him swiftly, my pupil. I'm just using the AoE skills. I'm hitting with Tenka Goken because it's an AoE kind of thing. Oh, but wait, there's more. Oh, okay. Fight harder, you lot. You're tough, I'll give you that, but how will you fare against my pet? Feeding time, my pretty. Okay, we're gonna dot him first, right? Tis a fiend who resorts to using a fiend. It said he can leave the false shinobi to him. Oh, they're still hitting me. Right then, let's take some heads. Finally, the last act of this gaudy circus. I'm building my stickers over here. Now we can use them up. Ah, I'm frozen. This can't be right. No, it's not supposed to play out like this. Come, Gav, we give chase. Duty complete. Okay. This is as far as you go. Who are you? I am Musosai, and beside me is my pupil, Gav. We seek out the wicked and exact justice upon them. Musosai? The legendary swordsman whose tales I heard in Kugane? Small wonder my guards didn't stand a chance. But even legends bleed, and with my transcendent katana, I am more than a match for you. Come, this blade shall drink deep of your lifeblood. Unrepentant fiend, you belong in a jail. You belong not in a jail, but in hell. Say your prayers to whatever kami you keep. Musosai says, you needn't befoul your blade with scum such as this. We have accomplished our goal of excising evil, and for that I am glad, but this outing leaves much to be desired for your training. For you see, a samurai learns best when he faces a fellow samurai of equal skill. Alas, they are hard to come by in this land, and a pretender such as that whom you faced is no substitute. Momoziko says, whew, we did it. Pats on the back for everyone, especially me. Yeah, right. It's a great performance. Now, what's this about you being a legend back at home? Usosai says, 'tis ancient history. Whatever I may have been in the past, now I am but as you see me, an old man long past his prime. Jejiruji says, well done, my friends. You have rid us of a depraved monster. His was a brutal end, but it was no more than he deserved. Justice well served indeed. Rest assured this mess will be cleaned up. As they say, what happens in Del Sol stays in Del Sol. That's the plan. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. We are in your debt, my lord. Our work here is done. One fewer evil afflicts. Musasai, are you all right? Worry not. I shall be fine. My endurance is not as it once was, is all. Come, my friends, let us move on to wherever the wind should blow. What about Gridania? And the wind blows, 'twould seem, to the forest. Momoziko, pray lead on. The forest? You mean Gridania? Oh, dear, of course, right this way. For some reason, he doesn't want to go to Gridania. Musasai says, a nation at one with the forest, simply being here is salve for the soul. Yet even amidst such seeming serenity, untold wickedness may lurk. Until such time as we find it, pray continue applying yourself to our art. Right then, I'll go about making inquiries at once. Musasai is looking for your help. To look for Momoziko. Ah, Gav, by the strength of your aura, you have clearly kept at your training. And in discharging the duty of a samurai in 2 cities now, you are slowly but surely becoming one in sooth. I hope that our time here will afford you further opportunity to grow. By the way, have you not seen Momoziko? He hasn't returned since he left us earlier. I worry that he has fallen prey to evil in the course of seeking it out. We should search for him. Let us split up and ask the locals. Surely one of them has seen our friend. Gather information at the Aetheryte Plaza. Bernadette says, a headed Lalafell, and he's a showmaster, you say? Huh, I recall the face of every adventurer who has passed my post, but I've not seen anyone fitting that description. Sorry, I couldn't be of more help. Oswald? A Lalafell? Fellow dozing off thither is the only one I've seen, I'm afraid. Now, is there aught else I can assist you with? Helping you achieve greater intimacy with the elementals, perhaps? Talk to Mycenta. Forgive me my bluntness, but you're not here with an opportunity for profit? Oh, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to tell you. Yes, I did see a Lalafell, much like you described. He was in the process of being taken away to the Adder's Nest, though I know not the circumstance. Uh-oh. Let's report to Musosai. Taken away by the authorities, you say? There must be an explanation. Come, we must go to the addled mess. Addled mess at once. Musasai says, what in the kami's name could have possibly happened? Eorzea Lua? What's this Gale Force warning? Oh. Okay. I had done the extreme of the Garuda fight. Once more, Garuda has fallen to your might. You have our gratitude, Gav. We are blessed to count such heroes among our allies. What's this? Some memento of the battle, perhaps? Vortex Ritual Focus. It's a gruesome ritual tool fashioned from the bones of an Ixal. Ugh. Ugh. What an uncanny arrangement of bone. I've never seen its like. I could not guess for what foul ritual this object would be used. Might there be some connection to the primal, considering the place in which it was found? I must ask you to take this grisly trophy to the Waking Sands and consult with Eorzea. Perhaps he can provide some insight. Alright, good. Ulwa says, why yes, as a matter of fact, we did apprehend a Lalafell showmaster by the name of Momozigo. He was wanted here in Gridania for embezzlement. 'Twas no large amount of coin, to be sure, but a crime is a crime, and so we took him into custody on sight. However, that custody didn't last long, for the fellow up and fled when our backs were turned. He was last seen heading into the North Shroud, towards Proud Creek, Ixal had held territory. We're currently deliberating whether to dispatch a search party, but in light of the risks, I fear that none will be forthcoming. If this Momozigo is your friend, perhaps you might consider searching for him yourselves. Musa says, this bodes ill. Come, Gav, we must find Momozigo before he falls foul of these icky souls. Icky souls. I just have a sudden image of smelly feet. Let's go to the icky souls. I might not ever be able to look at this seriously again. Okay, let's... So you see, I have my buttons set up in a very specific way, and you may or may not find that helpful. I suggest checking out the balance. If you Google the balance FFXIV, you'll be able to find the site. Check that out and see an optimal way for the rotation. And then what I find is it's easier for me to kind of play around sometimes on a practice dummy and figure out where I want to put my skills on my hotbars so that it best works with my controller, because I use an Azeron keypad controller for my right hand, and I mouse with the left. So I've got a multi-button mouse, which helps me put additional stuff on there. And that way you can set up your hotbars the way it works best for you. All right, Momozigo. We're aiding him. Poor guy. Wait! Where'd he go? Dude, he ran off without us. Whoop, I didn't mean to do that either. I hit a button on my mouse. Hilarious, isn't it? Here I am on a heroic quest to punish criminals with you, and all this time I was a criminal myself. I was organizing a concert at the amphitheater, you see, but the songstress bailed last minute. At that time, I had a huge debt hanging over my head and no way of paying it off. So I ran off with the money I'd collected from advanced ticket sales. I knew it was wrong, but I did it anyway. I'm no better than the crooks we've gone after. Will you punish me like you punished them? Musasai says, to betray the people's trust and steal from them is a despicable act. Such evil cannot be suffered. What? There. The evil in you is excised. You have committed a crime, 'tis true, but so too have you dedicated yourself to fighting it. From this moment forth, do you swear to be a changed man and fight always for justice? I swear, I'll never do bad things ever again. I may not be able to wield a katana, but I'll fight with you nonetheless. You've not spent all of your recent earnings, I trust. You would do well to return the money you took and beg forgiveness. If you apologize from the heart, I see no reason why the aggrieved would not forgive you your transgressions. So go and make amends, and let us continue our quest. We cannot well succeed without you. Thank you, Mususai. Gav, I'll go and repay the money and apologize this instant. It'd be nice if it was that easy, right? If Momo's ego aspires to evil, he has much more work to do. As it stands, he has reformed himself and will make no more mischief. With that, our work here is done. One fewer evil afflicts the... Yes. I love that surprise. It's like, I'm ready to hiss. That a little jaunt through the forest should tax me so. There is no overcoming old age. I got a feeling it's more than that. Yet here I am, come to the other side of the world in the twilight of my years. I journeyed here to find a worthy new pupil, and find him I did. But if truth be told, I have one more objective. That is, to track down and punish a fugitive from Hingashi, a disgraced samurai known as Kogarashi. Mark my words, he is the face of true evil, and it is my solemn charge to strike him down. I had the chance to do so before, but I failed. His strength far surpasses mine own. I could not defeat him. Forgive me, I should not burden you with this. Pray, dismiss this but the hollow ramblings of an old man. Come, let us return to the city. I'm giving cause to doubt whether Momoziko has learned his lesson. Uh-oh. All is forgiven, and all it took was a bit of money. I can come and go through Gridania as I please again. All debts are settled then. That is well. Let us move on to wherever the wind should blow. And the wind blows, 'twould seem, to snow-capped mountains. Momoziko, pray, lead us there. Right, this way, friends. We're going to Ishgard. Which is actually good, because I think I need to buy some level 60 gear for him. Brr, so cold. But the way tavern go-goers look at outsiders is even colder. Put a coat on, Momoziko. Such a breathtaking snowscape. Though each of this land's regions may not change much with the seasons, collectively they are no less colorful than Hingashi. Now then, Momoziko and I will set to tracking down injustice in this city. In the meantime, my pupil, pray see to it your sword arm remains warm in this frosty clime. Didn't eat my eggs. Tears in the snow. A heart-rending rumor has blown Momoziko's way, and Mususai has a mind to delve into it. Gav, your aura does not lie. You've grown stronger still. Since embarking upon your journey, you have made remarkable progress. Ere long, you will be a fully fledged samurai. But on to our mission. As we scoured the snow-swept stones and pillars of the city for evil, Momoziko came upon a disturbing rumor. Momoziko says, "It's just awful, Gav. A stage tragedy played out in real life. A young couple threw themselves off a cliff in the Western Highlands. As I hear it, the two were sweethearts from low-born families, but the girl had the ill luck of being fancied by a young nobleman. This Homefran tried to force them apart, and he hounded them so badly that they decided to end it. 2 innocent lives lost, and why? Because some lordling had to think with his member. He must be punished, I tell you." Mususai says, "Heartrending as this rumor is, rumors are no basis for punishment. We must ascertain the truth of this matter. Let us begin by making inquiries of the couple in the bloom." Broom, not bloom. Lonely lowborn. couple what hurled themselves off a cliff? A right tragedy and no doubt, but it seems odd they'd go all the way to the Western Highlands to do it. No shortage of places to fall off from around here. What's Musosai saying? It appears that in this nation, a man's fate is decided not by his worth, but by his birth. Would that I could say that it was not so in Hingashi. Listless lowborn, leery lowborn. Of course I heard about the poor buggers. Their luck ran out when Onfran took a fancy to the girl. He's a greedy bastard, just like his father, Lord Latranche. And the Fury forbid you get in the way of what he wants. Leery Lowborn says, folks are saying the final end. I can't say that word on stream. But I ain't convinced. Knew both of them well, I did, and they're not the sort to just give up on life, let alone each other. Certain words you don't want to talk about, certain topics you don't want to discuss, because I don't want to risk running afoul of YouTube's terms of service, so we have to be careful what exactly we say. So a cloud of suspicion hangs over this final end. It bears further investigation. But first things first, Momozigo has vanished yet again. Wait, let's talk it over. Oh, help me! Momozigo, he's in trouble. Come, Gav. Uh-oh. This button is from Momozigo's garment, but he is nowhere to be seen. This bodes ill. That little fella, was he your friend? He was asking me about the final ends when some men bundled him up and carried him off. I hope he'll be all right. Like, which way did he go? They, maybe give us a little more clues than that. It seems plain there are those who take unkindly to our investigation. Time for caution is past. Let us confront this Onofran himself. He was recently sighted near the fast fiddle on the level above. Last vigil becomes fast fiddle. I'm wondering if he has a little bit of a hearing problem there. Onfran says, go away. Let me die in peace. Musosai says, if you wish to throw your life away, we will not stop you. But first, answer me something and clear your conscience. Our companion was seized by unknown men while investigating the recent last endings, and it seems there is more to the incident than rumors would have us believe. Tell us, what truly happened? I tried to break them apart, that much is true, but they didn't end themselves. I brought her to the manor late one night, and she learned things she wasn't supposed to know. Learned how my father was dealing illicitly in furite. I implored father to overlook it, tried to convince him that she wouldn't talk, but he refused to listen. He ordered them taken to the Western Highlands, and they were, oh, gods, I loved her. I truly did. As for your friend, I fear they mean to silence him too, at the Black Iron Bridge, like they did the others. We thank you for your honesty and shall bother you no more, but know this, you are still young. You have all the time in the world to begin anew, to make amends, unlike this tired old man. Whimper. We haven't a moment to waste. To slack eye on bridge. Gav. Do you have anything else to say? Whimper. Search for Momozigo at the Black Iron Bridge. Okay, Cardinal, heal me up. So that's Idranche. Pathetic, every last man of them. Momozigo says, "Gods, that was close. I thought I was a dead Lalafell." Forgive me my delay. The deep snow makes you work for every step. This is very true. I grew up north, far north, and you get 12-inch snows up there sometimes, and walking through it is, you know, if you're out there for any length of time, it's a lot of work. So is shoveling that much snow. Ugh. Forgive me my delay. The deep snow makes you work for every step. So, you are the heartless cur who stole 2 innocent young lives. It is over. Surrender yourself. Oh, like hell's it's over. Mistake me not for one of those useless mercenaries. Not a shred of remorse, lowlier than a mindless beast. Such evil cannot be suffered. Oh. Our work here is this. Musosai. I've not come this far to fall here. Worry not, my friends. 'Twas but a dizzy spell. Now then, I believe we've visited all the major city of Eorzea. Eorzea. For Eorzea. Momozigo, you've been a fine guide and companion both. I am grateful for your help. All that remains is to find Kogarashi and deliver to him his reckoning. Gav, in the course of righting wrongs across the land, you have become a great samurai, one whose skills rival those even of Kogarashi. There is little and less left for me to teach you. I thank the kami for blessing me with such a fine pupil. Come, my friends, let us return to the city and find a place to warm ourselves. Gav, thank the gods you're here. It's Musosai. He collapsed again as soon as we entered the gates. He's resting at the inn right now, but the Chirurgeon. He said that the old man is ill. Gravely ill. He hasn't long left. It's a wonder he could even draw his katana. All this time he's been pushing on by sheer force of will, punishing evildoers across the land, even saving my hide. What is it that drives him on? Why does he go to such lengths to find this Kogarashi character? The old man won't breathe a word on the matter, but there must be some reason. If only we knew we could finish his duty in his stead. For now, there's naught to do but keep watch over him. I'll see to that, so you needn't worry. If there's a change, you'll be the very first to know. Okay. Alright, this quest is not yet available. Samurai, level 60, and we are level 58. So, we'll have to wait until he levels up a little bit more to find a resolution to that story. Let's go to Elation and Trepidation. Let's review our... Oh, no, I want to go to Mordona, Waking Sand, sorry. And turn that quest into Eorzea real quick. Yugiri is eager to see Gosetsu safely back to their master. But we're going to go to Waking Sands. I think I actually still have some Aetheryte tickets. Yeah, Vesper Bay Aetheryte tickets. Let's use them. Got 66 of those things. Well, 65 now. I think I can turn that quest in on my samurai so I can get XP for it. Don't worry, I'll do the Eorzea translation as usual. Eorzea says, "Thou art returned whole from thy grueling trial. Hath the battle with the lady gifted thee a glimpse into the Primal's fortress of inscrutability? Okay. You return whole from that, difficult trial. Has the battle given you a glimpse into the primal secrets? Fortress of Inscrutability. Really, Eorzea? Yes. A ritual focus of Ixali home to what tainted powers I cannot say. Pray, leave this curiosity with me, that I might dwell further on its nature. Okay. It's a ritual focus of Ixali what powers it has, I can't say, so leave it with me, and I'll research it further. Garuda's unseemly strength was not fueled by crystal caches and tempered worship alone. Nay, I fear some new rite of summoning was employed. Okay, Garuda's extreme strength wasn't fueled just by the crystals and, the tempered prayers. I think some new summoning rite was employed, or used. The rigid culture of the Ixal rarely spawneth such anomaly. Methinks agents more deeply versed in primal lore have meddled here, the Asians for a certainty. Okay, the Ixal's rigid culture, rarely creates this kind of thing. I think agents, people more familiar with primal lore have been at work here. The Asians first, for sure. And if those servants of darkness are afoot, they will not stop at a single tribe. Such revelations do much to explain my recent communications. Art thou prepared to struggle once more against the beastmen god? Right. And if the Asians are around, they won't stop with a single tribe. These findings explain my recent communications a lot. Are you prepared to struggle again against another primal? Ooh, we unlocked another one. Quake me up before you, Ogamuro. Oh, God. I forgot that was the name of this quest. It's a play on the Wham song, Wake Me Up Before You Go, Girl. It's a dumb song. George Michael was a gifted singer, gifted composer, gifted musician. That was a dumb song. It was just dumb. But it was very catchy and it's fun to dance to, so that's why it rose to the level of notoriety, fame, whatever you want to call it, that it did. Eorzea bids you rise to the challenge of another primal threat. The Maelstrom has sent word of a mountain-shaking tremor felt by every man and beast in the northern half of Vilbrand. Okay, the Maelstrom notified me of this huge earthquake felt by everyone in the northern half of Vilbrand. Aye, the kobolds have awoken the Lord of Crags, and the shuddering arrival doth echo with the heightened strength shown by his sister Primal. Alright. The kobolds woke up the Lord of Crags, and this earthquake, is similar to the strength shown by Garuda. Seek thee out, High Storm Commander Rashat Riki at Maelstrom Command in Limsa Laminsa. Thy path leads once more to the stony feet of Titan. All right. Go to Maelstrom Command, talk to Commander Rashat. Yeah, you're going to fight Titan again. Do you have anything else to say? None save thee can deliver Ishgard from Lady Iceheart's vengeance. Okay. That's another quest. Go back to Limsa. Ah, Captain Tia. Glad I am to see you answer. Now, she'll actually use the title. As you rank up in the Dragon Company, you get additional ranks, right? So she's using the rank title that's appropriate for your specific rank. I've maxed him out at Captain. It doesn't go any higher than Captain. I don't think it does. Ah, Captain Tia. Glad I am to see you answer our desperate summons. As you have no doubt heard, the kobolds have, it seems, yet again called forth the primal titan within their mountain abode. The recent quaking of the land can be attributed to no other, and, considering the intensity of the tremor, we can be sure that Eorzea's warnings concerning the enhanced power of the primals are far from idle. We Maelstrom officers would, of course, like not better than to shatter the belligerent old boulder ourselves, but we cannot risk losing our soldiers to tempering. Once again, we must turn to the seasoned veterans of the Scions. According to our readings, the rumblings are strongest in the navel, Titan's usual haunt within Ogamaro mines. You should be able to enter the Primal's domain by reattuning to the Beastman Aetherite found within the Kobold's territory in Outer Lenosia. After the previous defeat of their great father, you can wager they've recalibrated their crystal. May you crash against the stubborn rock with the fury of 1,000 waves. Right. If I go over there at this level, 58, we will end up aggroing, so I don't want to do that. Let's go to Camp Overlook. See how many times I get lost in this cave before I get to the correct spot. Yeah, they don't make it easy to get there, right? You gotta go, like, through 18,000 passages. And you can't just go straight here because it's blocked off, right? Square Enix is getting its money worth out of these Aetherites. The Naval Extreme now accessible. Let's see if it's on my Wondrous Tales. Oh. Sometimes, if you've got a lot of second chance stickers and you're like getting close to the expiration date, right? Like this expires on the 10th. And you've got it partway done. Say you got 4 out of the 9 stickers, right? There's some, if you're like way over leveled, you could do like Howling Eye Extreme. Some of these would take a lot longer, and they're not worth doing. I don't think I don't know if I've unlocked Earth's Fount. So it's super easy on a level 100 character to go in and just whack Garuda like once or twice and complete it, and then you hit the second chance sticker, uncheck the Howling Eye sticker, and redo it several times. You don't have to do 9 different things. You can do 9 of the same thing if you want. 9 or the same thing 9 times, basically. All right. Elation and Trepidation. We're gonna go back to our MSQ now. Kaidate. Captain Jifuya. He was headed for the northern entrance when I saw him last. I was going to invite him to train with us, but he did not hear me call out to him. If you need him, I dare say the sentry on duty will be able to tell you more. Indeed, I suggested as much to Mistress Alize when she came asking earlier. Is something amiss? Yeah. Yeah, there is something amiss. Haname says, "You seek the captain? He passed by a little while ago. I wondered if I should tell someone as it happens. He did not look well, you see. I asked if aught was the matter, and he told me the past had caught up with him. But I doubt it was that. There are older men in our ranks." I don't think it was age she was talking about. I think she was talking about trouble. See what Alize has to say. "I see the trail led you here as well. This man says he saw Jifuya leave." Aye, the captain went outside some few bells ago, and looking quite unwell, I'm sorry to say. This I mentioned to Lord Gosetsu, who straightway struck out after him. I hope he will be all right. I hope they will be all right. Gosetsu, too? It seems everyone is bent on joining the search. That's all well and good, but someone has to stay behind, and there's no telling what the Empire is plotting. You go on, Gav. Alfino and I shall hold the fort. Thanks for volunteering me, Alize. Ah, there's Jifuya. See what I got. Anything? Nothing close. Okay.
Your Lord Ian, leave me. Leave me, I beg of you. Say nothing of this. I was never here.
Thancred's voice actor's voice is really distinctive, so it's kind of fun to hear him doing other voices too.
There you are.
Lady Yugiri, Lord Gosetsu, forgive me my abrupt disappearance.
You have your reasons, I am sure. Will you not share them?
I was her master when she was yet a courtesan.
By the Kami.
She worked in my establishment. Her father was a regular client of mine. One day, quite without preamble, he offered to sell her to me. She may be no maiden, he said, but she has some use left in her. He sold her short. When I first beheld her, I was struck by her beauty. And yet, behind her eyes there was an emptiness. It was as if she had given up on life. She seemed more a doll than a woman. It was no profession for her. But I knew she would be popular. And so it proved. Men flocked to drown themselves in that cold, bottomless gaze. The rest you know. She became an imperial informant, and for her loyal service won the office of acting viceroy.
While you came to serve the Liberation Front.
'Tis said that the atrocities Tsuyu committed were driven by vengeance. If so, I bear part of the blame for creating the monster she became. Joining the front was meant to be my atonement. But the truth is, I am a coward, whose only thought was to escape her wrath. Then as now.
I see. Then I shall recommend that you be assigned to a new post. I trust you have no objections, Yugiri?
None. It would not do to leave Tsuyu in his care.
I am in your debt.
Who is it that you seek to protect, Gosetsu?
Good question.
Idle musings. Pray, pay me no mind.
Forgive me, now is not the time for brooding. Come, let us rejoin the others. Yugiri says, Lord Hien and Master Alfino look troubled. Something is afoot. Elise says, Jifuya can't be the only one here with a mortal fear of Tsuyu. She tormented these people. Alfino says, everyone is here. Good. There have been developments that demand our immediate attention. That her mere presence should sow such strife. I thank you for your help in the search. Gosetsu has told me all that transpired. I would not presume to defend the life Jifuya led before he joined the front. Nor will I condemn it. Frankly, it is not my place to judge. I will only say this. The Jifuya I know has ever been a man of courage. That he should feel driven to flee bespeaks the depth of his terror. Even now, Tsuyu casts a shadow over the realm. But the question of what is to be done with her must wait. The Empire is on the move once again. Ooh. It is as Lord Hien says, the Empire is on the move, and we, as ever, find ourselves on the back foot. The Empire is on the move, and Hien would not be caught on the back foot. While you were out searching for Jifuya, we received word that from our shinobi allies, an Imperial airship has been sighted over Doman soil. Ooh. Our visitor's objective remains unclear. It may be another attempt to recover Yotsuyu, or a prelude to invasion. Either way, the craft reportedly advances at speed and appears bound for Castrum Fluminus. I mean to go there and ascertain their intent. If we ride out in force, it will only end one way, so we shall keep our numbers to a minimum. Yugiri, Gav, can I count on you? Yes, my lord. Like we ever say no. We're in for adventure, man. Elfino says, Elise and I would fain play our part as well. We will not stand idly by while a common foe threatens the lands of our friends and allies. Ian says, we would be glad of the help. You are acquainted with Hakuro, I believe? Then I bid you seek him out and assist in maintaining order in the Enclave. When the people see an Imperial airship, they are liable to panic. I would have you reassure them, and should it come to it, aid in their evacuation. Very well, we shall depart at once. Do take care. What of me, my lord? The Empire may well be after Yotsuyu. You are to remain here and guard her until my return. As you wish. Pray, stay close to Gav and Yugiri. Well, well. Guard duty and not a breath of protest. Now I have seen it all. To Castrum Fluminus, then. Let us find out what the Empire's game is. Doma is ill-equipped to deal with an aerial offensive. Should the Empire be so minded, the Zaela's flying mounts would be our only hope. The area is secure. Whatever our visitors' purpose, they plainly believe they can achieve it alone. The craft should come into view at any moment. Let us await them inside the Castrum.
A smoke signal? Thoughts, Yugiri?
In former times, such signals were used to announce the coming of an emissary of peace. In Doma, at least. But could that truly be their intent?
Who can say? Whatever they want, we cannot simply blast them out of the sky. Not when they were so gracious as to honor one of our cherished traditions. I would not have it said that we Domans want for propriety.
Then I shall go and reconnoiter.
Nay, that won't be necessary. We will meet them openly. I would welcome this student of Doman history in person, whomsoever he or she may be.
As you wish, my lord. I shall arrange for a signal of our own to be fired in answer.
Well, that we should be received by the Lord of Doma himself.
I but afford an emissary of peace the courtesy he is due. Welcome to Doma, my lord.
Ah, where are my manners? I am Asahi Sus Brutus, Ambassador Plenipotentiary of Garlemald.
He is heir to the Naiuri clan and Yotsuyu's stepbrother.
It seems I need not introduce myself, not in the presence of the famed Yugiri Mistwalker. Your skills as a shinobi are known far and wide, my lady.
So both of these people are very well studied about each other. No surprise. No surprise.
It is true. The former acting viceroy is my sister. Yet, bonds of kinship aside, we have precious little in common. As will soon become plain, I come not to sow strife, but to end it. I am of the Populares, a collective which represents the interests of the common man. Long have we labored to bring about reform to the Empire's provincial policy. Happily for us, our master acknowledges the need for change. Indeed, His Radiance, Emperor Varys Zos Galvus, personally sanctioned this mission, granting me the authority to speak with his voice.
Sure.
To negotiate peace with Dorma.
Sure.
Well then, we have much to discuss. Will you accompany me to my hall?
Gladly, my lord.
I feel like I'm inviting a viper into my house. Now let's see what Asahi has to say. I say, do I stand in the presence of the fabled Icon Slayer? What an honor. Hey, Maxima. Lord Heian is magnanimous in his victory. Given our nation's troubled history, we did not expect such hospitality. Come on, Cardinal, get out of the way. Thank you. Yugiri says, peace. After all they have done, never has the word rung more hollow. Ian says, we shall escort our guests across the river to the Enclave. Yugiri, pray, go on ahead to the Yuzuka Manor docks and see that the ferries are ready. Speak with Yugiri at the mercantile docks. There's one. Speaking of vistas. Type / lookout. Yuzuka Manor. For generations, the lords of the Yuzuka family faithfully served the Doman monarchy as governors of One River settlements, and this was their dwelling. Raised during the rebellion, a clan of Namazu has since taken up residence. Let's see if our frenemies here have anything else to say. Maxima says, I've read much about the architecture and geology of Doma. Words do not do it justice. No, I don't want to examine myself. I want to talk to Asahi. Such scenes of devastation greeted us on our journey here. The bitter wages of war. Yeah, and you helped create that. Thanks. Upon disembarking, we will proceed directly to my hall, where we may enjoy some privacy. Lord Heian and I will accompany the Imperial delegation on the first ferry. When you are ready, speak with the boatman and join us on the other side. Mercantile docks, skipper. All are free to travel in and out of the Enclave. Do you seek passage? Yes. Have I unlocked this place yet? I think I have? We'll know in a moment. No, I haven't. All right. I really enjoy the music in here a lot. I'm going to put a favorite on here because I think we're going to be coming back here several times. So I'm going to talk to her real quick because I think this is quick and it unlocks the Doma Enclave donation basket. So. Kozakura is working like a woman possessed. Oh, Gav, it's a rare honor indeed to receive heroes such as you. Pray allow me to introduce myself. My name is Kozakura, and I manage the accounts of the Shazenkai. Oh, but you must be unfamiliar with our organization. Forgive me, forgive me. At present, we are largely concerned with facilitating the reconstruction and revitalization of the Enclave. Needless to say, we have our work cut out for us. It's quite fortuitous, actually, you being here. I had mind to petition your assistance. It's kind of going, don't worry, don't worry. Oh, right you are. It's rather difficult to converse while staring at one's feet. And you would doubtless benefit from an explanation. As you know, the Enclave was once the economic and cultural center of Doma. Alas, it suffered terrible devastation at the hands of the Empire both during and following the failed rebellion of yesteryear. That it and other ruins might stand as testament to the folly of resistance, extensive reconstruction was forbidden by the Imperial Viceroy. Of course, that is no longer a concern. At long last, we are free to rebuild the Enclave, to restore the heart of our once great nation and show the world that Doma lives on. But as I said before, we have our work cut out for us. We have limited funds and material resources, not to mention a lack of skilled craftsmen. Which brings me back to the matter I wish to discuss with you, that of our brothers and sisters in Eorzea, the refugees that settled in Revenant's Toll. I'm given to understand that they have worked closely with the local leadership to build and maintain much of the settlement. Many new trades before they left, and those that did not doubtless learned that they might earn their keep. If they were to return home and aid us in the reconstruction effort, it would be a tremendous boon. Would you be willing to speak with them on our behalf? Yeah. Oh. Ian says, Gav, taking an interest in the Shazenkai. Well, this seems as good a time as any to discuss the matter. I am grateful beyond measure to you and the Scions of the Seventh Dawn for welcoming Yugiri and my people in their hour of need. As the beneficiaries of this kindness, they have made every effort to repay you and the people of Revenant's Toll. Nevertheless, we here bear a responsibility as well. Kozakura, if you would be so kind. Yes, my lord. Ian says, we will send them a considerable gift as a gesture of gratitude and goodwill. However, I would like that missive to be delivered to the Adventurers Guild representative in advance. If you were to personally hand it to the man, I would be honored. Excellent. I knew I could count on you, my friend. Pardon my interruption, Kozakura. I look forward to seeing your progress. Oh, dear, I hope we don't disappoint him. Anyway, I'll not keep you. Thank you again for the assistance, and safe travels. Okay. It said duty commences live now on Twitch, so if you're listening to this in the live stream, You can also join us as we step into the ring in various PvP content. So if you want to check out PvP content, check them out on Twitch. I don't do I do PvP like as little as possible because I get a little too intense. Cannot control my language quite as well. And because I get that intense, it makes my hand arthritis flare really bad. And since I need my hands to work, I have to protect my hands. Yugiri says, Lord Hien has requested that Master Alphino and Mistress Alize also be present at the negotiation. Hien says, There you are, Gav. So, first things first, what do you think of the Enclave? I must say I'm quite proud of what my countrymen have accomplished in the time. We even have an ether right now, courtesy of the Ona Shishu. Be sure and attune to it, will you? Once it has the Warrior of Light's seal of approval, people might actually start using the thing. But on to the matter at hand. The ambassador and his retinue are at my hall, taking their ease ahead of the negotiations. I want you there when the talking starts. It will serve to send a message to the Empire that Eorzea and Doma stand united. I'm not normally one for hollow posturing, but in this game of nations, such gestures carry weight. Oh, and should you feel uneasy about speaking for the Scions, Alphino and Alize will also be there. You need only eat, drink, and look imposing. Say you'll come. Oh, if I eat, drink, and look imposing and I don't have to do anything else, yeah, I'll be there. I knew I could count on you. When you are ready, come and join me at my humble abode, the Kienkan. Kienkan? Khan. Kienkan. I think that's how you pronounce it. The guardsmen will see you in. Hakuro says, thanks to Master Alphino and Mistress Alize's assurances, the people are reacting calmly to Imperial presence. Yeah, but we don't trust them anyway. The residents took the news of the Imperial delegation well enough. It should be business as usual. Alphino says, so it's to be a peace negotiation. I'm curious to see what the ambassador brings to the discussion table. Hey, here's the guardian, or guardsman. Lord Hien is expecting you. May I show you in? Yes.
On behalf of my delegation, I offer you my humblest thanks. Never did I imagine that I would meet the gallant and noble Lord of Doma himself, nor be welcomed into his magnificent hall.
Okay. My crap detector is just redlined. Can we get any more? Ugh, just... It's so sweet, it makes your teeth hurt.
You'll forgive me if we forgo the pleasantries. You say you are come to negotiate peace. Unless I am mistaken, such negotiations are typically conducted between sovereign nations. I was not aware that the Emperor had recognized Doma's sovereignty.
Ooh.
His Radiance has yet to do so, that much is true. Know, however, that he has expressed willingness to cede Doma to her ancestral masters and treat with her as a friend.
That was nicely done. Smartly done by Hien. Because if Asahi is speaking on the Emperor's behalf, if the Emperor says, we recognize your sovereignty, that that goes, man. That's the new way it goes, right? And Asahi is very smart in saying he's not saying we're handing you over your sovereignty just yet. This is carefully said. He's not saying you're a sovereign. He might be saying that you're going to be a vassal state.
Since the days of Emperor Solus, the Empire has aggressively expanded its territory.
That's one way to put it.
While you may not agree with our founding father's policy of expansion, I believe there is room for discussion on the matter of his lifelong goal, to rid the world of icons.
That is the one thing they have in common.
Icons are a blight upon this star. They cannot be suffered to exist. This you know as well as we. In his wisdom, Emperor Varus wishes to explore the possibility of an alliance to combat this common threat. On the condition that Dorma renounces summoning and pledges to police the Korgin's practice of it, his radiance would extend the hand of friendship.
Dorma has never shown any appetite for summoning. And it should go without saying that we will address any threat to our people, icon or otherwise.
Nicely done. He's saying there that, diplomacy is an art itself, right? And there's always a subtext to what's said when you watch those things. So he's very carefully saying, because he can't say, if you throw rocks at us, we're going to throw, our entire force at you, right? You can't say that. That's an act of war. It's basically a threat, but you carefully couch it in language that can be intentionally misconstrued so that you can say, I never meant to say that. But he's saying that we don't like summoning, right? And it'll go without saying that we're going to address any threat, primal threat, or otherwise. He's saying to the Imperials, we got you out, stay out.
With regard to the Korjin, I must stress that they only resorted to summoning under extreme provocation. When the Ruby Sea was at peace and their sacred relics safe, they looked not to their kami for protection. Yet even now, there are certain parties who would destabilize the region with ill-conceived military forays. Unless they alter their course, we cannot hope to be rid of icons.
Quite. I can but apologize. In seeking to eliminate icons, the Empire creates them. 'Tis an irony among ironies, one with which the people of Eorzea are well acquainted, I am told.
Indeed. Many summonings are the result of persecution, the weak being driven to call upon the divine for deliverance from the strong. So it was in Alamigo, the bitter fruit of Garlean oppression.
Oh. Alvin is shoving it back in his face. You're the ones who caused it.
A tragic state of affairs. If we are to put an end to summoning once and for all, it shall not be through might, but harmony. Yet we continue to repeat our mistakes, oblivious to the lessons of history.
You're not oblivious to the lessons of history, I promise.
My comrades and I would change all that. We, Populares, have campaigned long and hard for a shift in imperial policy. And at last, the Emperor has seen fit to lend us an ear.
Notice he doesn't say he's given us the authority to do it. He just says he's lending an ear. Well, that could mean anything.
Alas, there is a faction within Garlemald that would obstruct our every attempt at reform. A collection of pure-blooded Garleans who seek to consolidate their own supremacy. The Optimates. Lest you wonder, theirs was the hand that loosed our forces on the Confederacy. 'Twas a regrettable incident, one that flies in the face of everything we believe. And I swear to do all in my power to prevent a reoccurrence.
That would be most welcome. But if I may speak plain, if the Empire itself is not of one mind, how can we be certain that any peace we negotiate will be honored?
I cannot blame you for doubting us. Indeed, I should find it strange if you did not. And so, in the name of building trust, I would like to make a proposal. A prisoner exchange.
Oh, now we know why he's really here. Okay. Notice that, that we don't know anything about the Populares and the Optimates, right? These two factions could actually be fighting, or Asahi could be lying through his teeth. We don't know the difference, right? Who knows if what he's saying is true or not. But he's here for the prisoner exchange.
Under Garlean rule, no few Dormans were conscripted into the Imperial Army. We would repatriate them in return for those of ours you captured in the recent conflict. Naturally, any exchange would include the acting Viceroy.
Yotsuyu? What makes you think we have her?
Forgive me, my lord. Was it not your wish to speak plain? Let us not play games. I desire only to work to our mutual benefit.
So, now Hien knows there's a leak in his organization. In order for, somewhere in Doma. Now, it's not too hard to figure out, right? Because they're pretty sure they saw her in Kugane. And there's plenty of people who don't have the Doman interest in mind.
The Optimates tried and failed to take my sister by force. I would succeed by peaceable means, thereby strengthening my party's hand. 'Twould be a lie to say I would not also be glad of my sister's safe return.
A fellow plain speaker. How refreshing. Very well. Your proposal has merit, but I will need time to consider it.
Of course, my lord. May we remain in Dorma until you have come to a decision?
It's like saying, can you give us an answer quickly?
You shall be our honored guests. Yugiri, I leave the ambassador and his retinue in your care. See that they are well looked after.
Well looked after and well watched.
You have our gratitude, Lord Hien. We shall look forward to your answer.
It's very interesting, all full of veiled meanings. It's fun. Whatever Lord Hien's discussion should be, I shall abide by it. Yet I would be glad to welcome my lost brothers back to Doma. Elise says that the Empire should send Yotsuyu's stepbrother of all people. I wonder how he feels, a son of Doma returning home to speak for the oppressors his countrymen drove out. he's heir to a clan's fortune. I'm not sure he's unhappy about where he's at, to be honest. The fact that there are two opposing factions at work in Garlemald complicates matters. Even assuming Asahi and his associates can be trusted, what of the others? Keep in mind they've had a civil war in the past within Garlemald, so, you know, who knows whose side the Populares are actually on. Whoever did the writing on this did a really good job. Because that's not easy to pull off, to keep that tension of the threat versus the, you know, the surface extreme courtesy, the fun stuff. I find it's fun. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but I enjoy it very much. Well, that was unexpected. Ellie says, you could say that again. I still don't know quite what to make of it all, but on the surface, a prisoner exchange does seem a good way to begin. The question is, can they be trusted? He says, They had naught to gain by divulging the details of their internal divisions. As it stands, we have no reason to doubt them. But the ambassador's mention of Yotsuyu left me ill at ease. It made his grand talk of peace seem uncannily like a lengthy preamble. Alphino says, you think this might all be a ruse to facilitate her retrieval? Ian says, perhaps, though I cannot fathom why they would go to such lengths. Yotsuyu may have been the acting viceroy, but she is not Garlean, nor even highborn. Her value must presumably lie in what she knows. Which brings us to the little matter of her memory loss. In her present condition, she would not yield any worthwhile intelligence, nor is she worth much as a bargaining piece. Alphino, you are well acquainted with the Empire's method. I would have your thoughts on this matter. Alphino says, my knowledge is at your disposal, Lord Hien. While the ambassador's proposal is appealing in principle, it would be remiss of us not to give it due scrutiny. He says, indeed, though it seems to me I have little choice but to accept regardless. With so many of our brothers and sisters languishing in imperial camps, I cannot well turn my back on the chance to secure their repatriation. Only the kami know when I will be afforded another. But ere we continue, shall we excuse these two? I fear what follows will bore them to tears. Elise says, I was just about to show myself out as it happens. Come on, Gav. Let's leave Alphino to dispense his copious knowledge. Someone is still sore from being made to watch at Sakazuki. Go on and keep Alize company. We are safe enough for now. Alize says, let the boys have their boring talk. Let's get out of here. we got better things to do. You've more than earned a rest, my friend. Leave the interminable bits to us. Alphino says, worry not, Gav. We shall take care of the rest. Go on and keep Alize company. Hakuro says, whatever Lord Hien's decision should be, I shall abide by it. Yet I would be glad to welcome my lost brothers back to Doma. Alright. Let's go find Alize. Apologies if you hear a lawnmower in back. Alize says, a chance to relax at last. I know when I'm out of my depth, Gav. Though no weapons are drawn, a negotiation is no less a battle, and the stakes can be every bit as high. One misplaced word and people could die. It takes someone with a cool head, and I'll be the first to admit that's not me. So, we're left with the eternal question. What to do while they prattle on? We can do tofu pancakes, takoyaki, or zo steak. I don't need this food, so I'm just gonna do the silver pieces. Alize is pondering how best to make use of your reprieve from the tedium of negotiations. We go fight, that's what we do. That's what Alize and I do. His forgotten home, we'll accept that. And he says, all right, for want of a better suggestion, what say you to a brief tour of the newly liberated Doma? I'd be interested to hear how the people are faring in their own words, and it's not as if we'll be missed here. Or will we? Yugiri says, Gav, a moment if you would. Elise says, Yugiri and Asahi, was it? You have some business with Gav? Asahi says, business? No, pleasure, my lady. I merely wish to exchange a few words with the famed slayer of gods and champion of Eorzea. It is truly an honor. Elise says, such heartfelt admiration. One could almost forget that you're an envoy of the Empire. Elise, getting the barb in there. Asahi says, oh, is that so strange? We may have stood on opposing sides in the past, but I see no contradiction in lauding the man who would do battle with our common enemy. And lest you forget, this is my homeland. It would be remiss of me not to at least thank him for containing the threat posed by the Kojin's evil icon. Now, if I may continue, as we speak, Lord Hien deliberates over my proposal, and I would take this time to see the land I once called home. Though Lady Yugiri is certain to be a jovial escort, the excursion would be all the more enjoyable for your company, and safer besides. Yugiri says, the ambassador has the right of it. He's not like to come to harm with you at his side. Will you join us? I'm going to say I'm quite sure he'll be safe with you, because I think Asahi is wanting to get us out of the way of something. Elise says, come now, Gav. There's naught else for us to do until Lord Hien has reached his decision. And were we not this moment discussing how best to learn more about the current state of Doma? Sai says, it is settled then. The four of us shall make a brief excursion through Yangsha. Might we start at the town of Monzen? I would see what has become of Doma Castle. Yugiri says, very well, if you'll follow me. We're kind of expertly roped into that one. I gotta see what that outfit is, because it looks really cool. That is Atrophy Below, level 560. I wonder where you get that. I'll have to look that up, because I don't know where the Atrophy stuff is from. The Pirate Bay. Nice. He looks very piratey, too. The Pirate Bay, of course, is a reference to that place where one might acquire various files of music and books, PDF books, and assorted other media through the sharing of your wealth with others. Just put it that way. If you ever visit there, make sure you use a VPN and make sure you do a virus scan on everything you might download. Know that it's probably not legal, okay? So protect yourselves accordingly. I don't advise you do illegal things, by the way. We're going to speak with Asahi. Forgotten home. Okay. Well, now we can take the Aetheryte over there, because we unlocked it. Elise, I'll admit I was hoping for a more leisurely trip around Yangsha, but if it's a choice between this or listening to my brother rambling on, well, here I am. Can you just see, like, Elise sitting in class with Alphino, right? They're in class at, in Charlian. And, Alphino's doing some presentation. It's long-winded. It's really well written, using big words. And Elise is going, oh, not another one. Everybody else is going, oh yeah, that's very learned, Alphino. And Elise is just rolling her eyes, right? Just get me out of here. Would that something could be done about these mechanical soldiers. Asahi says, Nay, can this truly be Monzen, home to the cream of Doma's samurai? I had heard that Yotsu intended to send some few of our automata here, but only by way of warning. It should not have come to this. Indeed, her savagery served only to incense the people and spur them to rise up in protest. It was folly to think such methods of governance could ever prove effective. The sooner we can begin to make amends for this senseless destruction, the better. Securing supplies and support for the reconstruction effort should not prove difficult once our nations are formally at peace, of course. Yugiri says, Yes, of course. If you would have a better view of what remains of the castle, we must proceed through the ruins. One might think that Yugiri is almost thinking, gosh, what would happen if he met an untimely end? Accidental, of course. I don't believe for one moment that he came to see the sights of Yangsha. The question, what did he come for? Lord Hien would often come here to gaze at the castle. He was but one of many to take inspiration from its majesty. It's pretty cool. It is a travesty. A travesty. I remember the keep being so beautiful. In the light of the setting sun, one could swear it was aflame. Yurigiri says, It is indeed a doleful spectacle. Mayhap we will rebuild it one day, when we have finished helping our people to rebuild their lives. Spoken like a true popularis. The needs of the people must, of course, come first. Speaking of whom, would you be opposed to my seeing how they live firsthand? The village of Namai is but a short journey from here, if I'm not mistaken. Yugiri says, By river, yes. If you'll follow me, I will ready our boat. Doma Castle is no more, and Asahi can but lament the loss of the great keep which once graced Yangsha's skyline. Though Yugiri shares his sentiment, she observes that rebuilding such grand edifices will do little to help people rebuild their lives. At the mention of Doma's long-suffering citizens, Asahi expresses a desire to visit Namai. Recalling that the village is only a short journey away to this end, Yugiri dutifully heads for the nearby docks to ready a boat to bear you back through the moon gates. I can't remember what Gav knows at this point, not knows, so I am not going to say anything. Other than, you know, if the people of Namai are not going to be happy to see any kind of, why am I flying over there when I can quick travel? Oh, no, okay, he's at the boat, down below, okay. People of, Namai are not going to be happy to see him, for sure. Alright, looks like we got an instance quest of some sort. Okay, this one's actually fairly easy. Eorzea says, This excursion has proved to be more relaxing than I expected. Famous last words before an instant's duty. Yugiri says, It has been some time since I last visited Namai. Yet Issei often visits the enclave with young Izami, so we do not want for news from the village. Alright, I'm gonna eat an egg. Ready to cast off. Okay, level sync is in effect. If you're above the maximum allowed level, it'll be synced as followed. Level 70. No. Oh, I forgot I'm on Samurai. No, I don't want to go in there at level 58. No. That's, that'd be a recipe for disaster. Ready to cast off. Yep.
I'm warning you!
Someone's in trouble. Are you all right?
Hi.
What do they want with you?
Yuki, and you lot too. I don't know. We were returning from the Enclave when they came at us.
It seems they won't go quietly.
And neither will we.
All right. I get out of that. Tired of these games. Where are reinforcements? This for 2 children? What do they even want with them? They mean to overwhelm us. See the reinforcements quickly.
An opening.
Oh, let's get them off Issei. I want to get them off Din. Soft shell of the red.
The art of my forebears.
Usually take the ads out first and then the boss. But in this case, we gotta keep everybody off of Issei so he doesn't die. Issei can be healed, by the way. Bring him up here. Bring him to Yugiri and Asahi so they can attack him. All right.
That seems to be the last of them. You have nothing to fear, child. You are safe now.
Thank you, sir.
Trusting children.
You saved us again. thank you. If you're ever passing by our village, look us up. You'll always be welcome.
Aw. I like those two a lot.
Thank goodness we arrived when we did.
Indeed. But what could have prompted the Red Kojin to stray so far from the Ruby Sea?
I presume these are the sellswords hired by Yotsuyu. If so, the answer is simple. Desperation. Bereft of imperial employment, they seek other means to line their coin purses. Another sad legacy of the Empire's mismanagement.
The Empire to which you have sworn allegiance.
Must you always be so pointed? If we are to bring about lasting change, we must look beyond narrow allegiances. You have every right to doubt me, but in time, I hope you will come to see that we share a common goal. You and yours have fought fiercely to change the Empire from without, but if we are to end the cycle of conflict, the Empire must change from within. Am I wrong?
Gav's, the Empire will never change.
Never? I wonder, would you have said the same of Ishgard? Believe what you will, but I assure you, the Empire can change.
That is a little bit different than the other option there. Tyrius chose the more diplomatic of the two. The mob squad. Oh, send your squadron on 100 successful assignments. Nice. Elise says, quite the swordsman, isn't he? I wonder, did the Empire train him to kill before or after appointing him ambassador? The Red Kojin's presence here does not bode well. We must inform Lord Hien. Asahi says, dear me, I had hoped to convey my views on our nation's shared hope under more peaceable circumstances. Yet this regrettable little interlude did afford me a chance to see the famed hero of Eorzea in action, and few Imperial soldiers can say that. At least, few who live to tell the tale. Asahi. When you're a good swordsman, you've been training at it for years, so probably he had training before he ever got appointed ambassador. Asahi has had his fill of adventure for one day. Well, after that little ordeal, I believe it may be time for us to return to the Enclave. Elise says, return, my lord. But what of Namai? You seem so eager to observe the villagers going about their daily lives. To be frank, I still am, but I rather doubt the good people of Namai would take kindly to the sight of a man in imperial uniform with blood still dripping from his blade. Even in your company, my presence would only prove a distraction. Fret not, however, thanks to the three of you. I have seen a great deal more than I otherwise would, and with any luck, Lord Hien will have finished considering my proposal by the time we return. Okay, where are we going to speak with you, Gary? Might be easier to just take the Aetheryte, and then if you find out you really did need to be across the river, you could just take the quick travel from the Ethernet. Do that a lot more quickly. Elise says, did you see the sincerity in his eyes when he spoke with Asami? I feel strange saying this, but what if he truly has come to sue for peace? Maxima says, I understand you served as the ambassador's escort. My thanks. Asahi says, I trust you will inform Lord Hien of our encounter with the Red Kojin. If we are to deter them from encroaching on Yangsha, our response must be swift and decisive. Thank you again for agreeing to join me. If not for your aid, the Kojin may well have overwhelmed us. Pray, go on ahead. Lord Hien is expecting you. I will remain without and keep watching over our guest. Elise says, well, we'd best not keep him waiting. Do you have anything else for us? Lord Hien was quite insistent that you enjoyed him. Pray, go on ahead. I will keep a watch over the ambassador. Let's go in. Show me in. Elise says, judging by the sparkle in Alfino's eyes, their discussion was riveting. How sorry I am to have missed it. The sarcasm there is thick. I love Alice's character. She's fun. Akira says, Master Alfino has shared with us his knowledge of the icons and reminded us of the threat they pose in so doing. It is strangely comforting to know the Empire shares our concern. Alfino says, feeling refreshed, I trust. We have considered the ramifications of this proposal from every angle, and I believe Lord Hien has reached a decision. Hien says, welcome back, my friend. Yugiri tells me you accompanied her and Asahi on a tour of Yangsha. I had hoped you might take the opportunity to recover from your exertions at Sakazuki. But I gather your time was well spent, until the ambassador affords Yugiri a chance to make a full report. However, I must rely on you to supply the details, so please, tell us how it all unfolded. The Red Kojin, Alfino says, here? Have there been any other such incidents since the liberation? Hien says, not that I am aware of. If they are planning some new venture here in Yangsha, we will need to increase patrols. In any event, I am indebted to you for fighting them off, but tell me, and don't be modest, was Asahi truly the first to leap to the youngster's aid? Elise says, he was. I was quick to doubt him when we first met, but his desire to save them seemed quite genuine. It is possible he truly believes what he's saying. Hien says, in the time I've known you, you've always been an excellent judge of character. What do you make of the ambassador? He may very well be an honorable man, or I still don't think he can be trusted. Then the question of what his true intention may be remains. Regardless of his aim, I am resigned to playing his game. For now, at least. Elise says, well, forswearing summoning should be simple enough, considering you never dabbled in it in the first place, which just leaves the somewhat thornier question of how to police the Red Kojin. Hien said, it was with that very question in mind that I sought Alfino's counsel. Thanks to his knowledge of the icons and the rituals used to invoke them, I believe we've identified a workable solution. Alfino says, as you will recall, Susanoo was summoned forth using the power of relics locked away in the Kojin's treasure vault in the Isle of Zeki. Though said relics remain there to this day, it is all but certain that the act of summoning exhausted their stores of ether, making subsequent summonings impossible. Assuming that is the case, preventing the Primal's return rests on denying the Red Kojin the means to amass new stores of ether, either via acquisition of crystals or the relics they are wont to collect. Hien says, for this, I plan to enlist the aid of our friends, the Blue Kojin. Since Doma's liberation, we have forged closer bonds with Gunshin and his people, and with their support, I am quite confident we can keep the Red from obtaining what they require to call upon this Susanoo. Elise says, and what of the prisoners? They will be exchanged as agreed, and I will give full credit to Asahi for the success of the transaction. If there is aught we can do to help the Popularis garner favor, I mean to see it done. But first, I have some unfinished business to attend to. Would you all come with me? Elise says, yes, of course, but What manner of business? A past mistake which I would see put right, one which has weighed heavy on my mind.
I had her brought here in secret while the three of you kept our guest company. The world has not been kind to you, it is true. But that does not excuse your sins. You should be at the bottom of the river. Yet here you are. The living, breathing proof of my failure. A failure for which I would now make amends.
What did I do? I don't remember. Was it really so terrible? Tell me, please! What did I do?
You speak of sins, my lord. But at whose feet do those sins lie? With the soldiers who committed the crimes, or those who commanded them to do so? With both, I would say. For all have a conscience, and all must choose. But with no memory of who she is, or what she has done, what sin remains to be cleansed?
You ask that I show mercy.
I ask why the heavens saw fit to deny me my rest. Why Tsuyu was spared not only death, but the bitter memories of her life.
You truly think it the will of the Kami? If so, her life is not mine to take. It is yours to safeguard. Come the hour of the exchange, if her memories have not returned, she may remain here in Doma to live out her days as Tsuyu. But if they do, the Garleans shall have their viceroy. Though the people will protest, they will come to accept my decision when they have been reunited with their loved ones.
Thank you, my lord.
Now then, I believe we have kept our guest waiting long enough. Did Gosetsu not seem strange to you? His sympathy for your Tsuyu apart, I mean. I know his powers of endurance only too well, but after all he has suffered, even he should not be on his feet. He puts on a brave face for our sakes, but it would not surprise me if he lacked the strength to raise his blade. Though I suppose if he and Tsuyu are to enjoy a life of peace and quiet, he will have little use for it. It falls to us to shape that future, one in which he need never again set foot on the battlefield.
Not the end that Gosetsu would really want, but there's a lot to be said for his battle wisdom that could be used to train other samurai. So, while it would not be the end he would choose, because I'm sure he would choose dying in battle, but Sometimes there is greater service in other routes. Elfino says, I had no idea Yotsuyu's return weighed so heavily on Lord Hien's mind. Now Elise says, I couldn't say if Tsuyu's predicament is the will of the kami, but Gosetsu certainly seems convinced. Akura says, it would seem Lord Hien has at last reached a decision. The uncertainty in his eyes has given way to resolve. All right. Science theme. That's a really nice theme for your Orchestrion rolls. With Yotsuyu safely in Gosetsu's care, all that remains is to answer Asahi's proposal. I realize other matters demand your attention, but I would ask that you stay a while longer to see this business through. Yeah, especially since, war could erupt again if the wrong thing's done.
My apologies. Our deliberations took longer than expected.
Think nothing of it. The time afforded me the opportunity to go on a rather rousing excursion through Yansha. You have reached a decision, then?
We are willing to cooperate with you in combating the Icon threat, and also in the exchange of prisoners. Assuming you accept our conditions, of course. As you know, your sister is in our care. Due to certain complications, however, we are hesitant to release her into your custody.
Complications?
She was inside Doma Castle when it collapsed. Though she survived, she remembers nothing of her past life, not even her name. To clarify, she is in our care not as a prisoner, but as a vulnerable citizen of Doma.
Are you saying you refuse to release her?
Not at all. If her memory returns before the appointed hour.
And if not, what exactly? You will accommodate her here in Doma?
Well, I sincerely doubt she will be of any great strategic value to the Empire. She spends her days daydreaming of Dango.
Dango? How dreadful. Very well. In light of our recent misstep in Sakazuki, it seems only fair that I show you the same understanding you have shown us. Though I do have one small request. Regardless of Yotsuyu's value to the Empire, she is yet my sister. Before I leave, might you permit me to speak with her in private?
Of course. Perhaps you could even bring her a plate of dango. She would be most pleased. Yugiri will see you to her chambers.
He gave up on her remarkably quickly. It's like, oh, she's no value to us. Okay, I don't want her after all. It's kind of in keeping with the kind of person we learned about him earlier. Gosetsu says, forgive me, my lord, but has he not been gone over long? Perhaps I should... He says, calm yourself, Gosetsu. I understand your concern, but we have to wait. He deserves that much. Asahi says, I'm sorry to have kept you all waiting. Thank you for your understanding. Long did I dream of this reunion, but never did I imagine it would be so joyless. A part of me hoped your stories of her condition were just that. But alas, it is as you say. Gosetsu says, Tsuyu, do you remember anything of this man? Anything at all? No. Asahi says, I am a stranger to her. That much was clear to me from a single look. I leave her in your care. Ian says, as you wish. Now, if you will excuse me, my superiors are long overdue a report. They will be elated to hear of our agreement. Of that, I have no doubt. As for the exchange itself, once I have obtained the relevant permissions, I will arrange for your people to be relieved of their various duties and sent here to Yangsha. This will take time, of course. Ian says, of course. You may rest assured your soldiers will be well cared for until you return. We will also begin taking steps to better counter the threat of the Kojin and their icon. Before you take your leave, there is one other matter. I am informed it was you who took the lead in rescuing 2 young domans from a band of Kojin sellswords. I have not yet had the time to thank you properly. Asahi says, please, there is no need to thank me. I only did what anyone would do under the circumstances. Fortunately, I was in good company at the time. The blight of the Red Kojin is of the Empire's making. Were it not for our transgressions, those children would not have needed saving. The people of Doma have suffered enough, my lord, and I promise to do all in my power to spare them further pain, be it at the hands of the Kojin or indeed the Empire. Hien says, I pray the Emperor will see things as you do. There may yet be hope for us all. Until we meet again. Gosetsu, as before, I leave Yotsuyu to you. I invite the rest of you to join me outside. Let's treat Asahi to a proper farewell. I love that, okay, we're gonna go back to Garlemald and, talk to the Emperor about releasing your prisoners, and Ian's going, okay, we'll hang on to your prisoners until then. No exchange happens until the exchange happens. Adkiragh says, if Yotsu is to remain in Doma for good, we cannot keep her confined to the manor. People must be made to see that she's no longer the monster they remember. Sai says, if my dear sister's memory does not return, I pray you will take good care of her. Lord Hien has made a wise decision. Our superiors will be pleased. Yugiri says, I wonder if the sight of her stepbrother might bring Yotsu back to her senses. But mayhap nothing will. Nevertheless, we must continue to watch her until we can be certain that her condition is permanent. Elise says, if only our previous encounters with the Empire had been this cordial. Here's to the future, I suppose. Elfino says, without the threat of Imperial attack hanging over our heads, we may devote our energies to dealing with the Red Kojin, and then there will be nothing left to impede Doma's restoration. Ian says, the ambassador's airship awaits at Castrum Fluminus. Let us be off.
I wish you a safe journey.
This has been a most enjoyable visit. I look forward to our next meeting. Maxima, would you take the others and see that all is ready for our departure? I simply cannot leave without first giving thanks to the Warrior of Light for accompanying me through Yansha. Mark me, savior of the savages. There will be a reckoning.
Bad time to have an echo happen in front of your enemy.
You've nowhere left to run, traitor!
Ignorant savages! Killing us will avail you naught. For every Imperial you cut down, 1,000 more will come. Abandon this foolish endeavor and surrender. You may yet serve our righteous cause.
How dare you speak of righteousness? You who forsook kith and kin to serve conquerors! Be glad I grant you this mercy.
Okay.
What in the... Reinforcement? No, just one! Cut him down!
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
This one is promising. Who remains to offer us resistance?
A host of rebels led by Lord Cayenne hold the enclave across the river.
Lord Cayenne?
The king of the former king of Dorma, sir. They say he is one of the greatest swordsmen alive.
Is that what they say?
I love Xenos. It's a great enemy.
Who was that?
Surely you jest. That was Xenos Galvus, legatus of the 12th, the Crown Bloody Prince. I heard he was strong, but that was frightening.
That was Lord Xenos. Everything you are, your power, even your face, it vexes me. Go on. Lash out like the beast you are at an emissary and jeopardize the newfound peace between Dorma and the Empire. My lord was destined to lead us unto a glorious new age. Your light is nothing to his radiance. I will cherish this moment, lock it away within my heart, until the day we meet again.
Had you at the tip of my sword and you couldn't do jack about it. That's what he's saying. I love what they do with the sound design with Xenos. You only have to hear one or two of those footsteps, and you know exactly who's coming. You don't even need to see him. You hear that slow chunk, chunk. You go, oh crap, Xenos. You know you're in trouble. It's great. It's kind of like in Jaws, where you hear the first two notes, dun dun. You go, oh crap, shark's coming. Why the frown? Did he say something to upset you? Are you quite well? You looked as if you were about to faint in the ambassador's arms for a moment there. Yugiri says, I thought perhaps now we could be at ease, but your expression suggests otherwise. What troubles you, Gav? He just, threatened all of us, right? No, I don't want to select myself. Thank you.
You look troubled, my friend. Was it something he said?
Of all the memories to witness.
I had my doubts about him, but I would never have guessed he was a disciple of Xenos. My lord.
Calm yourself, Yugiri. I set no store by him or his enlightened brethren. But if by treating with them there is even the faintest hope, we might secure the return of our conscripted brothers and sisters, I must play this game. After the way I risked their lives in the rebellion, I owe them that much.
My lord, you bear no blame for their fate.
If not blame, then responsibility. They were prisoners, and still I chose to fight, knowing they could be executed in retaliation. But now we have a chance to bring them home. If it means bargaining with a monster, so be it.
My lord.
Besides, I think he likes me, which is more than some can say.
Just kind of hangs his head down. Elise says, "It makes no sense. Why would he bother keeping up the pretense for so long? Only to drop it right before the very end. Well, so that you couldn't, like, call him out for it, right?" Alfino says, Perhaps he no longer thought it necessary, having secured Doma's cooperation in the prisoner exchange." Ian says, "If he truly is a disciple of Xenos, his possible emotions simply got the better of him. Remaining calm around the man who slew his lord will have taken its toll. Whatever the explanation, now is not the time for hasty reprisals. We shall proceed as planned. The Red Kojin must be placed under surveillance and the Garlean prisoners made ready for the exchange. But you need not concern yourself with the details. Leave the affairs of Doma to us. When the hour of the exchange draws near, we will call for you." Alfino says, "I should certainly hope so. Whatever the Empire's true intent, we would be on hand to play our part, either to defend Doma or to help usher in a lasting peace. I had thought we might use this time to return to Eorzea, but given the volatility of the situation, mayhap it would be best if we remained in Kugane." Elise says, "Agreed. Between Yotsuyu's amnesia and Asahi's dubious agenda, I say we have ample reason to remain in the neighborhood. If anything should happen, anything at all, you must send for us at once." He insists, "Oh, I will. On that you have my word. Charting a path through the sea of troubles promises to be difficult enough. I am not so proud as to attempt the feat alone." Alfino says, "To Kugane, then. Tataru and the others must know of what transpired here." If what you saw of the ambassador is an indication of his true nature, this prisoner exchange may not be what it seems. In fact, I'm beginning to wonder if your encounter with Red Kojin was more than mere happenstance. Yeah. Saying, was that orchestrated behind the scenes, since the Empire still has connections with Red Kojin? Soon we will see if Asahi is true to his word. If not, I will be glad to cut out that silver tongue of his. I love you, Gary, too. Alright, speak at Hancock at the Ruby Bazaar in Kugane. I think, Papa Cat Gamer is home. And, Papa Cat and Kittens will want to eat soon. So we're gonna turn in this quest and we're gonna end it there for today. So, some really interesting stuff going on. Greetings, honored sir. Will you be entering the Ruby Bazaar offices? Yes. As they say, I don't envy Lord Hien. So much rests on his decision. Alfino says, since we have naught else to attend to for the moment, perhaps this would be a good opportunity to look into the present state of Garlemald? Though I should probably speak with Tataru first. Well, yeah, probably. Welcome back, Gav. We heard the good news about Gosetsu. I knew you'd find him. Hancock says, my, it seems you're all in quite the predicament. Well, should we receive any urgent missives from Doma, rest assured you will be the first to know of it. Tataru says, yes, of course. We're discussing ideas to replenish our coffers, but I suppose that all can wait if any urgent news should come through the office. Alfino says, about that, I wish to apologize, Tataru. It was reckless of me to make such a purchase without first consulting you. You may be certain, however, that I mean to reimburse the Scions, even if it means drawing upon my personal funds. Tatara says, "That's very thoughtful of you, but I'm sure it won't come to that." The evil grin. I love Tatara's grin. If Sorbonne's business proposition is as promising as it sounds, Gav should have no difficulty wiping the red from our ledger. Wait, why me? You're volunteering me again. Elfino says, "Forgive me, Gav. It would seem I have unwittingly heaped my financial troubles upon you. I swear I will pay you back. Though I fear I will struggle to cobble together anything of monetary value, knowledge I can gather in abundance. To start, I plan to investigate the divisions forming within the Empire. Mayhap Ryo and his associates have heard something on the subject? Regardless, the more we know about the politics of Garlemald, the better our chances of predicting the Imperial's next move, which might yield you an advantage on the day of the prisoner exchange. Knowing what we do of Asahi's apparent resentment towards you, I cannot say what he hopes to gain from it, but if there is even the faintest chance that a lasting peace could be forged between Doma and the Empire, what choice have we but to try? Lord Hien had the right of it. Asahi may very well be a monster, but we must play his game. For now." It looks weird to see Hancock holding a thumbs up, right? I think we got a cutscene. Arranging the prisoner exchange proved easier than I thought. Yes, my lord will be most pleased. Everything is going according to plan.
Can you truly remember nothing? Nothing at all?
Were we friends?
Yes. We were good friends, you and I. In fact, I've brought you a gift. I pray that one day soon, as you gaze into that mirror, you will remember the woman staring back at you.
It's so pretty. Who are you? Who are you?
Meanwhile, in the Imperial capital,
How are you feeling, my lord?
Fine, now leave me.
that smirk. Xenos is alive. Oh, God. Hancock says, more often than not, it seems opportunities want to come knocking when the Scions are about. So long as you and yours remain here in Kugane, I'm sure a profitable venture will present itself. Tataru says, I will replenish our coffers. You wait and see. If all goes as planned, we will recoup the cost of Gosetsu's played 10 times over. Elise says, whatever Asahi's planning, we cannot let him have his way. After all Lord Hien has done, the Emperor cannot be suffered to hinder Doma's restoration. Elfino has important news to share. Ah, Gav, impeccable timing. We've just received a letter from Lord Hien. He writes that the Domans are coordinating their efforts with the Blue Kojin to maintain a constant watch over the Red. By staying on the lookout for signs of crystal hoarding and the like, they mean to nip the summoning attempts in the bud, thereby satisfying the conditions for peace set down by the ambassador. For the Garlean's part, the Populares have sent word that a vessel bearing Doman conscripts is soon to land in Yangsha. It would seem that the prisoner exchange is to proceed as planned. Lord Hien requests your presence, and I share this view that you should be on hand at this critical juncture. Elise says, according to the letter, Yotsuyu's memory is yet to return, so it looks like she'll be living out the rest of her days in Doma, assuming the ambassador means to honor the agreement, of course. Before we get to that, however, I think it would be wise to assess her condition one last time. If the Domans have missed any change in her mental state, however slight, it would be better if Asahi weren't the one to spot it. Elfino says, agreed. Let us make straightaways for the Enclave then. Lord Hien will be waiting. I trust you'll cope in our absence, Tataru? Don't worry about me, I'll be fine. Just be sure to come back safely. Alright, do they have anything final for us? Elfino's been keeping a very careful count of his coins lately. I doubt he'd ask for a sip of water without asking the price first. Hancock says, I am very much in favor of a peace agreement between Doma and the Empire. Loosen that imperial grip, I say, and let the trade routes breathe freely. Oh, Hancock never change. Alright, folks. We're going to close it out here. If you're having fun with this, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that jazz. You know what to do, when to do it. All right. I have a cat joke for you. What's a cat's favorite Shakespeare play? Romeo and Juliet. Romeo and Juliet. Juliet. Okay. On that, cats and kittens, Mama Cat Gamer is signing out. Y'all have a great one.